Welcome to the System Simplified podcast, where we feature top leaders who share stories on how to successfully systemize a business. Now, let's get started with the show.
Hello, Adi Klevit here, the host of the System Simplified podcast, where I feature top founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders about systematizing a business. And today's episode is being brought to you by Business Success Consulting Group, where we create, document, optimize, and implement processes and procedures so businesses can grow and thrive. And today's guest is David Goldstein. Hi, David.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I'm so excited about our podcast. I mean, what you have, you're already giving the clue behind you, the 9% Club. That's your book. And we're going to talk all about the 9% Club and how to belong to it and what does it really mean. But first of all, I'd like to give a big shout out to Diane Menzer, who introduced us. And Diane is absolutely amazing. She became a friend and we did 2 podcasts together. And she just introduces me to the best people. And I am going to include the notes, the show, the link to the show that we recorded together, the 2 episodes actually. And check it out, Diane Menzer. Diane integrates. She has a great company where she helps second in commands really succeed. So definitely thank you, Diane, for the introduction. Okay, David, and now we're going to introduce you. So you are the best-selling author of the 9% Club and a trusted voice on founder success and business growth. With 2 decades of experience building nationally recognized companies, you now help entrepreneurs escape burnout and scale with clarity. Through practical frameworks and real-world strategy, you show founders how to build businesses that actually work without breaking themselves in the process. So that sounds amazing.
It's a lot.
It is. So, okay, so you spent 2 decades building nationally recognized companies. And then what happened? How did you get from doing that to starting the 9% Club?
You know, it's interesting. For my first company was when I was 9 years old. And living in Michigan, and the instincts and what I learned just kind of kept on going from there, and did a lot of really neat things. And then you have your ups and downs, right? And did my stint in corporate America for a little bit. I really want to get learned and stuff, and I became a healthcare entrepreneur, but I want to get trained in that space. And when you make that jump, we had our health tech company. It's really hard, and there's all these, things you just don't know. There's no cookbook to say, hey, this is what you do, this is how you do it, this is what to avoid. And so what happens is we all fail, and then hopefully you get back up and you win, and you go through these ups and downs. And after mentoring people, my passion's always been in helping people become successful, and especially founders and people in business. But I coach kids sports. I just want people to do really well and learn how to win. And said, hey, you know what? Let's put something out there that's like a guide that I wish I had, and say, hey, you got to go through your struggles, but like, can we help people avoid some of these pitfalls that we all make, and can we give them some shortcuts so they don't have to go through these crazy experiences, and especially when it comes to revenue, I think a lot of founders are really good at what their craft is, right? They might be technology, it might be science, engineering, whatever it is, and they might be really, really, really great in that. But if you're not bringing in the revenue, you have no company except for a really expensive hobby. And so, like, chapter 2 in the book is not all revenue is created equal, and that's the whole thing. But it's how all these things that we can help people learn, and then the whole back half is about leadership and execution, because you got to get results. But the way to long answer your question, the book's really like a reference guide. It's written, you can read in a day. It's intended to come back to, take notes, put the items in it. It's action oriented. We just want people to do really well. We have some free resources included. It's all intended to say, hey man, this is what I wish I had, and I know others do too.
Yeah, absolutely. So Why 9%? Where is that coming from?
It's weird, right?
No, it's great, but I want to know.
91% of businesses fail. So we want people to become 9%ers and do the things. So the book, our community, our actual 9% club is all about, these are the things 9%ers do. And we want everyone to have an opportunity to become a 9%er. That's what we have actually, our own AI tools and stuff that we use in our systems, my business, our clients. But there's a mindset, there's a systems. That's why I love what you do, because it's so important. Systems, processes, things like that. The same thing has to be true in how you approach your business and everything you do with it. Something that's just founders, it's not intuitive. So 9%, these are the things, behaviors, mindsets, way we approach business, how we execute, all things 9%ers do. So it's taken years of my experience interviewing people, working with founders, working with 9-figure companies, all these things of saying, okay, this is what everyone does. Execution, you could spend a fortune going on different ways to get results, execute, blah, blah, blah. It's something that so many people struggle with. So I developed a model, STEER. Strategy and tactics that got to be aligned, right? Why are we doing this? All right, how are we going to do it? Execute. You just got to act. You got to act. And then the most important part is adjustment. So STEER, STEAR, strategy, tactics, execute, adjustments. You got to make adjustments all day long. And then reporting. You got to see the stuff, right? And then it goes back. So we approach every decision on a STEER model. And so, that took years to learn. So again, we're like, hey, let's just make this available. If nothing else, if people can follow the STEER model, it'll set them up in a much better position to win.
Absolutely. So that was my next question, is like, what are the main things that you are concentrating on? But you just answered it, which is great.
Leadership, really important.
Yeah, absolutely. So what have you seen that, okay, so with 91% of the businesses fail, what is the biggest reason for that?
Goes back to I call them strategical tactics. Most folks are really tactical. They just, let's act. And then you're always putting out fires and you're never moving the ball forward. And what happens is people end up doing the wrong things the right way. And it's just a disaster. The other side of that, some folks are just so strategic, it's academic, and you get that, paralysis by analysis, and it's just, so they can't act. And so you got to have this balance. So I think it's, what are we doing and why? All right, now how are we going to do it? How do we judge if it's good or not? And I think the thing too is it's okay to be wrong. That's something that I really want people to understand. It's okay to be wrong. You got to go. There's no way you can know coming out of a meeting if something's going to work. You got to go act. It's just not okay to be wrong a bunch of times. So you got to learn from that and train your brain to make better decisions and get into the habit of being right. And you do that through execution and analytics, right? Looking at it, measuring, and learning why it's working or not, and not being afraid to take chances. I think that goes into it. I think a lot of businesses, they run out of money, and they can't scale the right way. When you grow, you're growing your headaches and your problems too. So if you don't have the right foundation, then all this garbage is going to compound as well. Right. So that's where it's like, are you going after chapter 2 of the book? Are you going after the right revenue for the right reasons? Are you getting the right customers? Will these customers be with you and compound over time? I think a lot of folks don't understand the difference between top line revenue and profits. Like they do in theory, like, oh, I get it. Except when in practice, if I can go get a $2 million deal and I'm keeping 3 cents, it's not a good deal. Right. And so those go, and then how do you scale? It's
good for the ego.
It's very good for the ego. It's really, really good for the ego. And they're like, oh, we're a $2 million company. Yeah, but then, and then you might start hiring the wrong people for the wrong reasons, right? To support customers that aren't going to be there. They start getting in pricing wars. And so I think it's a lack of understanding business principles in a sense, right? Again, you're so good at your craft. You start this company, you're doing something, and it's all about, which, I'll give you an example. going after the wrong targets. Most people, I think many companies are trying to conquer, the boil of the ocean. They're not niching down and saying, this is who I'm going to go after. I'm going to dominate this space. One of our tools is an avatar builder. Answer 15 easy questions. It builds it for you, paste that into our email, and it gives you an email written specifically for your ideal client. Diane Metzer is a great example. You mentioned her. She's wonderful. Her niche couldn't be clearer. She's going after the second in command. That's it. And here's all the reasons why.
That can be also pretty broad, because you can have second in command of different companies, right? Or different sizes of companies.
Yeah. And it could be like, hey, if you're the second in command of I'm going to make it up, a $10 to $20 million company in the SaaS space, in a fintech space, that's where we specialize. I mean, you're like, oh, you're speaking right to me, right? So that's a mistake. Companies come in, if you're super focused and you're really, really good at what you do, you can become great in that area, and then you get your longevity. So I see a lot of folks going out of business because they're trying to be great at everything, or worse, they're trying to be good at everything, and good is the enemy of great.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, totally. So you call it a 9% club. So why is it a club?
So, we want you to join it. We want people to be 9%ers and join that club in theory, but in practice, we actually have a community, the 9% club, where people can come in and for like nothing, like $9 a month. We want everyone to be able to do it. Literally, like, I think that could be a coffee at Starbucks nowadays. And they get access to a lot of our AI tools, trainings. We bring in speakers, Founder Fridays, tactical.
You actually have networking that happens throughout that club as well?
People can network with each other. You can see each other's information, network, workshops. Absolutely. We want 9%ers to meet people, do business together. It's there. Again, we have trainers, speaker series. We were talking to somebody yesterday who's I go, you got to come out on a Founder Friday. People would love to hear your story and your journey. We got to bring in. And then we also have our hour for those that want it, revenue operating system, which is what we use, or we use it with clients. And that, that's it's a few $100 a month, not much, but that's everything you need for the sales and marketing. And really, we have our own AI. It's like a business consultant and advisor. So it can do a lot of the work. Lexi.
That's right. Yeah.
Lexi.
Yeah. And you also, what I really like about your model is that people can get access to so many tools that if they actually had to pay for each one of them individually, it will cost so much. But then if they are part of the 9% club, they can subscribe to it through like a fraction of the cost.
For like nothing. I mean, and that's the point. I mean, we're putting, and we donate to homeless vets. So 100% of the proceeds of the book goes to vets, homeless vets. Part of the proceeds of the actual club goes to. We want founders to win. We want everyone to be better off, and it's just part of the mission is to really help. We need to make some money so we can pay the bills, but the whole point is we want it to be so easy for people to have the tools they need. So, for instance, if we're using our actual full Lexi revenue system, everything is done in there. The wisdom of workflows and campaigns and everything that we've done is there, so people don't have to worry about it. It's just done for them, and they can just go. So, I like to say, hey, we're going to help you. I tell my kids this all the time. We're going to help you as much as I can, but you got to actually do the work. But what's cost prohibitive and all the stuff in the past, we're saying, hey, let's get rid of all that for people. Let's put everyone in a position to win. We're going to train you. We're going to show you how we do it, how we do people. All that's included. They just have to actually do the work, but we want to put everyone in that position and give them the chance. Because you get so many people trying to sell 90 different things that are garbage. They don't work. You can't use it. We're saying, hey, this is what we do, and then we're going to show you how we do it. We want you to meet other people. We want your businesses to thrive, and we want to help homeless vets.
That's beautiful. Wow, that's fantastic. Okay, so if people want to know more about that and they want to join the club, how should they do that?
So our site's 9percenter.com. So 9 like the and then percent with an ER percenter. If they go to book.9percenter.com, they can grab the book there. I think we just charge for the shipping and handling, and we'll send a free book. And so book.9percenter, where it goes through all the everything that's actionable. It's an easy read. Join the club. I mean, it's you're talking about less than $10 a month, but you get all. We just want people to win. That's the whole thing, and the tools are there. We even have one of the tools included is an email analyzer. So you put in, what are your open rates? What are your whatever? Drop in your email, and it will actually analyze and show where the gaps are and help rewrite it.
That's incredible. So it's
Isn't that
really
cool?
using AI, absolutely, to help people succeed at really a very low cost. And
That's
absolutely.
and we've got the within our full revenue, the AI is a business analyst, a business coach, consultant. I mean, it does all these things like, should I do this? Ask Lexi. Lexi will tell you. And again, so we don't want people to, especially folks doing side hustles or even, you're running a somewhat larger company. It doesn't have to be as difficult as it is. Business is hard enough as it is. It doesn't need to be harder.
I agree. I think it's wonderful what you're doing and really making it so everybody will succeed. And that just says a lot. I know that's your purpose, is to help, and that's what you're doing.
That's the mission.
That's great. That is fantastic. David, this is the System Simplified podcast. It's all about systems and processes. How important are processes to a business?
Oh my gosh. I think everybody needs you as a client, or she needs to be your client rather. And
I should also have me as a client. I'm a very good client. I like to buy things and to do things. Yes.
I think, we talk about, to take sales, for example, right? You bring in revenue. Show me bad sales, I'll show you a bad process with probably no system. And, everything has to have a strategy around it and a process. And, how do you know if it's right or wrong? How do you know, if there's an error, how do you know where to fix it? Like, all these things come through. How do you know where to automate? It's all about processes and then analyze. And I think we overcomplicate me years ago. Oh, I don't need that. I'm not a big company. I'm not General Motors, right? And you need to bring a Six Sigma, person to, and so it doesn't need to be that hard. But I also believe there's nothing I do that I'm bad at except play golf. Everything else, if I'm not good, if it's not my thing, I don't do it. And if you're a founder, if you're running a business, whatever, you're way too busy to do everything. Definitely better using someone like you. Come in, develop the systems, the processes, create that. All you gotta do is follow it, and that's how you're gonna have a big. I'm convinced, especially when you start growing and scaling your company, if you don't have the right systems, you're gonna be putting out fires all day long. You're never gonna grow. You're never gonna get over that hump that everyone talks about to really do the things that you do to grow a company, because you're just handling problems. Systems, processes, it's just so undervalued, especially when you talk about like the running of the business, not the tech part, not the customer. Everything has to have a process around it.
I agree with you. Couldn't agree more. And that is very true. That's really needed in order to be in that 9% club.
Absolutely.
You have to have processes in place, but you also have to have support. And what you're doing is invaluable. So that's very well done to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. All right, David. So now people know how to reach you. They know how to get to the book. And I definitely encourage our listeners to do that. Visit the website. It has so many gems there and so many resources. And join the club. Why not? So thank you very much for being a guest on this podcast.
Thank you for having me. This is fun.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Thanks for listening to the System Simplified podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.